29 out the Fir Park Tunnel.
There's going to be about a 15-point gap between 6th and 7th by the time there's going to be the 33rd game in the season. I think there's a mad golfing class between the top 6 and the bottom 6, and let me run through my top 6. First of all, I'm going to go with Celtic because, of course, well, they've not done anything in the transfer window, but they didn't need to. They don't need to enhance their team in any way, shape or form. They're still going to be the best team in the league for a number of seasons. So I'm going to go with Celtic winning the league. Second, I'm going to go for Rangers. I didn't want to say Rangers, but I'm going for Rangers because look at how much they've spent. They've spent probably more than Celtic, I think. But then again, Celtic have actually signed a really good player, whereas Rangers have signed, say, about 12, 13, basically a new squad. If that doesn't win them a trophy this season, nothing will. Third, I'm going to go for Hibs. I think Hibs have signed some really good players, and the fact that they've done so well in Europe so far, they've just drawn against Mould. I mean, they've still got a really good chance of progressing to play against Zenit St. Petersburg or Dinamo Minsk. I mean, I think they, more than anyone, will occupy the third spot. Fourth, I'm going to go for Hearts. It's interesting, I know. Hearts have really improved throughout the transfer window, and yeah, they had a hiccup in the Betfred Cup. They drew against Wraith, but they still won on penalties, and they're through to play against Inferno in the Betfred Cup second round. Whether they will build on their pre-season hype already, having been buying a new pitch and all that, you know, splashing out £1 million on a pitch, Motherwell couldn't even afford £1 million altogether. I mean, they must be doing something alright. Fifth, I'm going to go for Aberdeen. Yeah, unpopular decision, but I've gone for Aberdeen as fifth because they've yet to buy another striker. They've got Cosgrove, but I don't see him as a born scorer. Just watch for him scoring a hat-trick against Motherwell. Finally, in sixth position, I'm going for Kilmarnock. I think they're a wee bit behind the teams from both of the major two cities in Scotland and Aberdeen, and they're better than everyone else. So, they're going in sixth. Seventh, I'm going to go for my team, Motherwell. I think we've actually gone back a step. I don't see us replicating any cup final form this season, and yeah, I just think we've been a bit shit. We drew at Ess Rawr, almost got beat by Clyde, and it's only our home form that's going to save us this season. Motherwell, if you prove me wrong, I'll commend you for the rest of my life. Eighth, I'm going to go for St Johnstone. Yeah, I don't really know much about them, I don't really care about them too much, but I'm going to go for St Johnstone in 8th. 9th, I'm going to go for Dundee. I think ruining missed chances this season is going to be their story again, just like last season. They looked really poor against Dunfermline. I just think they'll falter again, and they may make a cup quarter final. 10th, I'm going to go for St Mirren. I think their bounce from winning the Ladbrokes Championship will steady themselves into some good early form, but they'll end up falling away and missing out in the top 6 and just saving their bacon. 11th, I'm going to go for Accies. You know, that old chestnut we're predicting for Hamilton Accies to be in the bottom 2 this season. Hopefully it will happen, and hopefully they'll go down. I'm joking, I'm joking. We love the derbies, we can't get enough of them. And 12th, I'm going to go for Livingston. They've basically done a Brecon. I mean, who expected Livingston to get promoted? And yeah, that's my whistle stop tour and what I think is going to happen in the Scottish Premiership by the end of the 38th match. I've said a lot for effect, and yeah, that's it. Also, I meant to have this up this time last week, so don't hate on me too much. I've just rushed into it. Anyway, let's go see what some of my fellow YouTubers have to say on the matter.
Hello everyone, this is CJNovo 92, wearing a seatbelt when I'm parked. Hello Motherwell fans. Yeah. I'm here to help Gogsey out by doing an SPFL prediction video. Now, I've obviously done this myself. I've probably got it all wrong, but I will repeat myself in aid of Gogsey. 9-9, as long as he passes me the ball in the charity football game.
Ah, yeah, I forgot. CJ's under contractual obligation to be last on the list.
How's it going, everyone? Well here, and thanks to Gogsey, I'm coming on his channel to talk a little bit about my predictions for this year, and I do believe it's going to be quite a tough one for Aberdeen as a fan myself, but I do believe we can get second again. Rangers do look stronger than they were last year, but if we can beat them first game this season would be huge. get a good start to the season. After what we've done against Burnley, I believe that we could really put a really strong performance in this year, pick up some points, maybe against Celtic, get a couple of draws, maybe even a win at home, hoping to beat Rangers a couple of times, get a few wins against Hibs, and then yeah, hopefully we can manage to finish second at least this season. Celtic, I do believe, is going to win the league game. Rangers and Hibs, it's going to be between them, third and fourth again, I believe. I just think all the other teams are just a bit inconsistent. There's no hate towards. I love Kilmarnock. My boss is a fan, so I think they've done well. Steve Clarke is such a good manager, and I hope he does well, and maybe see him in the future for Scotland manager. I would love to see him there. But who do I think is going to be relegated this season? Personally, I think Dundee. I think Dundee's going to go down. It's just my opinion. Obviously, I'm not correct, but let's see. Hopefully, you do agree with some of my points. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and thanks, Gogsey.
For my Scottish Premiership predictions, I predict that Celtic will win the league for the 8th year in a row. This is probably the most controversial one. I predict Hibs will come second and Rangers will be third. Aberdeen will come fourth. I think Hearts will be fifth. Although I think Hearts won't have that good a season, I do still believe they'll come fifth. Gogsey, you'll be happy with this one. I think Motherwell will sneak into the top 6. Probably just, but I do believe they will sneak into the top 6.
There is a God. Thank you, LiviBoy. Right, shall we just end it here, eh?
I think Kilmarnock will have a solid season but will find themselves 7th. St Johnstone may struggle a bit more than they normally do, but I do believe they'll come 8th this season. As for Premiership new boys St Mirren, I think they'll come 9th. As for 10th, I believe it'll be my team, Livingston FC. It'll be a very tough season to be a Livingston fan, and we're probably going to lose more games than we have the last 2 seasons combined, but I do believe Livingston are strong enough to stay up in the Premiership. As for 11th, the relegation playoff, I believe Dundee will be there, and I do believe that it's Hamilton's time to go down and come 12th in the league.
Alright Gogsey, here's my predictions for the Premiership for this season. First place I'm going to go with Celtic. I don't think Brendan Rodgers' men will loosen their grip on the league, and I think they'll win another league title relatively comfortably. Second place, I'll go with Rangers. I think Steven Gerrard's appointment will really galvanise the Gers in their hunt for silverware. And while I don't think they'll win the league, I think they'll push Celtic and they'll give them a run for their money. Third place, Aberdeen. They've been a very consistent side. I think they will get second place taken off them. However, I do think that they can finish third. Fourth place, I'm going to go with my own team, Heart and Midlothian. I think if Levine gets the boys playing the right way, he can really push for Europe. Fifth place, I'll go with Hibs, but I don't think they'll be that far behind us this year. I think it'll be really close to see who can get fourth. Sixth place, I'm going to go with Steve Clarke's Kelly. I think he did very well in his first season last year, and if he has another good season, I can see Kilmarnock finishing in the top 6. Sorry mate, but I think the Well are going to finish in the bottom 6, albeit at the top. I think they'll finish 7th. Obviously it's going to be very hard to top getting to 2 cup finals this season. However, they can give it their best shot, and I think if they finish 7th, it wouldn't be a bad return. 8th place, I'm going to go with St Johnstone. Tommy Knight will probably guide them to an 8th place finish in my opinion. Like I said, I don't think they're going to have the best season this year. 9th place, Dundee FC. I don't think they'll go down, but they'll kind of be struggling. I think they'll struggle to pick up points. 10th place, St Mirren. They won't go down, but I don't think they'll be pushing for any honours. 11th place, Livingston. I think the Lions will survive, only just. And that only leaves one team left. In 12th place, Hamilton Accies are my prediction to be relegated to the Championship.
Nice to be here on the Gogsey channel, here to give my league table predictions for all the viewers. If you do want to see something a little more in depth from myself, then feel free to check out my SPL predictions on my channel, Ryan118, you know. Cheeky plug, sorry Gordon, just had to get it in. Anyway, I'm going to quickly run through my 12 teams. I've only got a couple of minutes to do so, so I'll just basically say where I think they'll finish and why I think they'll finish there very, very briefly. So starting from 12th all the way up to 1st. At 12th I've got Livingston right at the bottom. I just don't think they're strong enough to really contend any higher. Coming up from the Championship, probably the weakest side in the league. 11th I've got Hamilton. Just think they're quite shite, to be honest. So that's why I've got them there. 10th, I have got St Mirren, and that is mostly due to the fact that I think they will carry some momentum after having such a good season and winning the Championship last year. So I think they'll do a little bit better than, say, Livingston. Above them, I've got Dundee. Dundee, I just don't feel like they've got a strong side, but they've got a side that's probably good enough to stay in the division once again. Neil McCann trying to make as many changes as possible after his first season, and maybe they will do a little bit better. 8th, I have St Johnstone, same position that they finished last year. I don't feel like there's been much change, and I feel like they're just going to have a similar season. 7th, I have Motherwell. There you go, Gogsey. I think they are a decent enough side, but not quite decent enough to maybe be as good as those top 6 sides yet. But we'll see where the season goes. At 6th, I've got Kilmarnock. Stevie Clark obviously want to continue that fantastic job that he started last year when coming in. Will he be able to carry it through? We'll soon see, but I don't think they'll be as good as maybe the sides above them. 5th, I've got Hearts. The only thing I think holding them back is pretty much Craig Levein. They could challenge even further. They're not as good as Hibs though. Craig Levein's football is probably what's keeping them down further in the table. That's why I've got them there. 4th, I've got Aberdeen. I mean, that's quite a slip, you know, from 2nd to 4th, but I just feel like Rangers and Hibs offer that little bit more something and are starting to, you know, heat up, catch up with the likes of Aberdeen. 3rd, I've got Rangers again, 3rd season in a row. I just feel like Steven Gerrard is going to learn something. I don't know, I feel like it can go any way, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Rangers could easily finish 2nd, but I think Hibs are going to finish 2nd if they can keep the consistency up, if they can find that consistency and stop throwing away stupid points, because against big teams are good. And top of the league, winning 8 in a row, it's obviously the glorious Glasgow Celtic.
12th place, I'm going to go Hamilton. I just don't think they've improved. They've lost a couple of key players like Ali Crawford, David Templeton. They're going to be relegated. Number 11, I'm going to go with St Mirren. Obviously lost their manager Jack Ross. Their squad looks very, very weak. I know they're sort of cannon fodder for most people doing these prediction videos. They've all got St Mirren coming last, so yeah, I can kind of see that happening. But I'm going to go with a dogfight between St Mirren and Hamilton, and St Mirren's going to grind the results needed to come 11. So we'll go with them. In the 10th position, I'm going to go with Dundee. The reason being, I picked them so high last year and they let me down. So I'm going to pick them low. Watch them do really well now. Number 9, we're going to go with St Johnstone, the namesake. Reasons for that being, I think they're not really a spectacular side. They've not really done anything great in the transfer window, but they're one of these sides that can sort of grind out results. That's very, very important when you're playing in the SPFL. They're accomplished, decent squad, good at set pieces. St Johnstone will be alright. Let's jump to the 8th position now, and this is when it gets a bit spicy. And I'm starting to think to myself, which way am I going to go? Because I mean, even in my video, I wasn't necessarily happiest with it. But I'm going to go with them again. That's going to be none other than King Kenny's Army, Livingston FC. Now, everyone in my comments are kind of telling me Livingston's getting relegated. But I believe in Ryan Hardy, the Greyhound, on loan from Rangers, a clinical goal scorer, getting his first opportunity at the top flight. And I believe he's going to deliver the goals, because goals keeps you in the league, and I think he's going to do it. So I'm going to believe in Livingston. I'm going to go with the surprise of the season for them to finish 8th, which would be an absolute tremendous achievement. Right, jump to 7th. Again, controversial, but I'm going to go with Hearts. I believe they're going to lose Kyle Lafferty. Obviously, they're bringing Judas, aka Stephen Naismith. He's going to score a couple of goals, but I think Hearts are due a bad season. That way, next season, they can spend more money and actually do well. So they're due a bad season, so Hearts are going to go with 7th place. Moving on to 6th, and I'm going to go... Even in this video, I'm not really happy with, but I'm going to go with it one more time. I'm going to go with Kilmarnock, and the reason being, if Stevie Clark stays the entire season, I believe they'll get 5th. But if he leaves halfway through, which I think he will do, because I believe like Steve Bruce, someone from the Championship will be sacked, and they'll go for Stevie Clark. Someone pushing for the high that's got the potential to spend money, like an Aston Villa, those types of teams. Definitely think he's one of those guys that can move along. So Stevie Clark will be lost, and that will be the biggest loss to Kilmarnock season, in my personal opinion. Moving on to the next, I'm going to go with your lot, Motherwell.
CJ. Ever the eternal optimist.
Like I said in my video, very, very underrated manager. I think the fact that they got to 2 finals is getting heavily swept under the carpet, and I don't understand why. Very, very strong, physical, maybe overly physical, you know what I'm saying. Very aggressive. But overall, very, very tidy side. They know what they need to do. They grind out results better than most people. And like I said, I don't think many people like going as physical as them. So whenever we play Motherwell, you know you're going to get halved. Some of the players can't handle it. Motherwell's a team to watch, and they could do even better than 5th, potentially. Moving on to the 4th position, I'm going to go with the team that just drew with Burnley. That's going to be Aberdeen. The reason being, I don't think the squad depth's good enough this year. I don't think they've had many good players. They've lost a couple in the window. Some of them, they've brought in a couple of players, but nothing too overly exciting in my opinion. Again, the 11 for Aberdeen's very, very strong. McInnes knows what to get out of them. But when you see the bench, when you see the reserves, for the entire season, a couple of key injuries to that 11, and I think that could be a potentially bad season for Aberdeen. So I know they've finished the 2nd place for the last 4 years, but I'm going to pick them to finish 4th. Moving on to the 3rd position, and we're going to go with Hibs. Neil Lennon done amazing work last year with a very limited budget, getting to Hibs to where they could have potentially finished 3rd, maybe even 2nd if results went their way. But overall, I think this year will be a consecutive sort of high finish. I'm going to go with 3rd place, which will still be an improvement from last season, and I believe they're actually going to be challenging for one of the cups. Hibernian's a team to watch. Their striker, Kambere, It's all depending on McGinn, if he stays or not, where they're going to finish, but I'm going to go with third. Second place, Celtic. I don't think they've improved their squad enough. Obviously, they've signed Eduardo, £9 million, great. But that is a loan move. That was a loan move last year, so they've not really brought in someone else to expand them and move them to the next level, in my personal opinion. Obviously, they've got three very, very clinical goal scorers in Dembele, Griffiths and Eduardo. They're going to be right up there. I'm a Rangers man, so I'm going to go with Rangers. So their second place. Jump to the first is going to be Stevie G, Glasgow Rangers. Why?
Right, I'm going to end it there. We're running out of time. I'm sorry, CJ. I'm no having it. I'm no having it. So, of course, we've had the first round of fixtures already. Of course, Motherwell are bottom as we speak right now. Loving it down here. It's great. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like down below if you want more of this snazzy content. Subscribe if you're new. I'm goggsysaan, a bit of a viewer. Hope you enjoyed this collaboration with other YouTubers. I want to do some more stuff throughout the rest of the season. And yeah, I'll see you later. Take care.
And yeah, shout out to Godsey. If he starts passing, he might be a good football player. And bye-bye.